Alright, everybody. So, welcome. Now, I sort of realize with the energy that we're experiencing right now that it's time for new beginnings. And I can't change the past. I can't change all the videos that I've deleted and all the stuff I've gotten rid of. But I can move forward, and we all can move forward. And I think that I shouldn't continue to, use that as a reason not to do this. Yeah, I want to move on, and, I want to start again. And so, that's why I'm doing this. Because with all the ideas that I have for this event and in the direction that we're going in, I don't want to waste certain opportunities that I could be feeling and experiencing. And I want to do that. And, okay, so I may have recorded a bunch of stuff and I may regret losing it. But I have come to the realization that I am a better, more evolved person than I was in the past. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, and I'm going to continue to do this. That doesn't mean I'm going to be treating it as a job, because it's certainly not a job. It is certainly not a job to me. I don't think I want to take care of the certain details. Susan, Linda, and Daniel will take care of those details. I have been doing this for a while now, so long, and I don't want to give it up. Until something happens, in which case, we're gonna move or something else. I think if I can still keep doing this, then I still want to do it. And, so it is about moving forward. And that's what I plan to do. So anyway, that's my spiel on that. Now, today, I am going to, because as you know, Abigail Miller is here with us. She will be here in just a few moments because she is our Amenten guest that came here last Thursday, and she's sort of come and gone over the past couple of days, and I've really felt a really strong calling to bring her here. And I think Saturn in Pisces has contributed to that. She also has Mars in a water sign, Mars in Scorpio, Mars is in Cancer. Saturn in Pisces and what she does. If you watch Dance Moms and if you see what she does, and if you consider the themes of Saturn in Pisces, and you put the pieces together, you also consider that I am not randomizing this. She was born with Saturn in Pisces. And she is fulfilling her purpose in this lifetime. And her purpose is to teach. Saturn to provide structure. Saturn to manifest and get out into the world and make a career. Saturn out of something creative and or spiritual, dancing. I mean, you put those pieces together, and that could be the same thing for any number of people. But I'm bringing in this specifically because it just makes sense and it's such a synchronicity. And, this is what she does. And, while and this is such an interesting. I mean, the dichotomy is really clear because I am inviting back an Amenten person, an Amenten guest, someone who could be expressed, but also could be expressed at the same time. It could be expressed by expressing her as well, because that too can happen. You can express somebody by also expressing them at the same time. And that's where Abby comes in. And I find myself moving over to the dark side, not necessarily, necessarily speaking. Not necessarily that. But, with the energy of Pisces, it is about compassion. It is about understanding and being in connection with everyone and everything. And so, despite what she has said or done wrong, and the qualities that I watch that I don't like about this person, what if those qualities are things I also like about this person? And what I admire, and what makes this person special and unique. And obviously there's shadow sides. And I'm not going to not acknowledge that this person has not displayed the shadow sides of, her character. You have to acknowledge that. In order to also, this person acknowledges the shadow sides, but then the shadow sides are also positive. Could it be that with this person is said and done, even the bad stuff could also be what you are drawn to from this person who has said, really, mean, cruel, and evil, who's, done, damage, who, all of that kind of, all of that. And a really important piece here, and I'm going to, actually, I'm going to have Maria de Simone talk about what was going on in her life when she went to, jail and all of that. Because Maria de Simone deals specifically with predictive astrology and what is going on in your individual life personally, and what will happen, what has happened, what is going on based off of astrology. So I really am interested to hear her take on her natal chart and what was getting activated and what was going on. Good afternoon. So excited. So did you have a good day and all of that? Yeah. That's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful outside. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So, we were just talking about, um, just about, because as um, we talk about, a lot of, we connect a lot of things to astrology. And, we were talking about because Saturn recently entered Pisces, and, you have that placement in your natal chart. And I was just speaking about just the connection of, what you do, in the creative field, and, Saturn, which is about discipline, structure, making your dreams a reality. And it's also, Saturn's also kind of like, it places limitations. It's sort of kind of the astrologer and psychotherapist Deborah Silverman describes Saturn as the high school principal. Is the one who, sort of rewards you off of hard work. And, from watching the show, you obviously, demand and expect a lot, from people, and then sort of, reward them based off of their hard work in a creative, outlet, which is dancing. So I just find that remarkable. I really do. And something that we'll continue to look at. But also, I remember just thinking back about almost 3 years ago, we started watching Dance Moms for the first time in the spring of 2020. We started watching that show and getting into that show, and of course, all of the moms came, and you came, of course, and there was the germ killers, so we were able to function perfectly well. What was everything that was going on at that time, and so I have a lot of, I have some ideas for what I'm thinking about doing, actually, is, and, I'm just, also getting all this kind of, nostalgia from at that time, when I was different, I looked different, spoke differently. And I was thinking, because I think it would be really special if there was an album that was made based off of Dance Moms. And I can't believe I couldn't think of, I didn't think of this earlier, but I sort of came up with and, put together a bunch of songs for the album. And who knows, there may be, music videos involved, it may even be a musical. But let's just, stick to an album. Now, in terms of the show of Dance Moms, and, thinking back, I know that, we've seen, been rewatching episodes of it. We have, when it comes to actresses portraying different roles, there's something really admirable about the kind of roles that that Meryl Streep plays. She is very dramatic, and she can play those type of roles where she can you know be very powerful in a musical kind of way. If you've ever seen the I forget what it's called, the I can't remember now. The Prom, and there was this song in that movie which was about I think Emma getting sort of put down because of her being lesbian, and so she was coming in. The actress was coming in. I forget her. I think Dee was her name. I forget. But she was coming in, and then there was this song in this production, and I could really see her kind of singing about some of the sort of the darker qualities of the show, including your studio and the kind of things that went on, such as the pyramid and and whatnot, kind of having a mixed energy. Mainly really serious and dark, with her singing, but I really admire her because she can pull off a role and really sort of put herself into the character and give a lot of power and zest into her characters that she plays, the roles that she plays. And so that might end up happening. But in terms of the album, now, there was a musical that was done many years ago. And you may have seen it. I've seen it, and I don't think it was very good. It was a musical for dance moms, and you can see it. I don't really think I want to show it to you, but it's basically a musical of this reality TV show, and I want to take it a step further and do sort of an album of this, of these songs that I'm thinking about. Now, potential singers that I'm considering for this album, maybe myself, but I'm kind of, I'm thinking of, for this album that will be released sometime later this year, I'm thinking of the singers Tori Amos, she could probably be singing some of these songs. I'm also thinking of Colette Baron Reed, who is a spiritual teacher. She is a psychic. She created Oracle School, her school. She founded it. She's an Oracle card author, the book author, and also a music artist. And I think that there's one song that I think in one of her albums, and there's a couple songs that she did which I think that would make beautiful dances that you could choreograph. And there's one song in one of her albums, which is called Beauty in Hard Places, and I just think that with just the lyrics of it would be just make a beautiful solo or duet. And actually, do I want to? Maybe I could play for you. After maybe I'll play the song for you. Maybe I'll play a couple of songs. Maybe just that one. Um, but also, and there's one song that I think relates to Christy in Dance Moms, who could, who could sing it, or her daughter, because they left the ALDC and then they came back, but sort of on a different team, and all the stuff that happened, and also Kelly, and her children, Brooke and Paige, her daughters. She could also sing this song too, or it would make sense and resonate with her. So these are a couple of different songs, and I really, I think that Call It Baron Reed would be a wonderful singer for this album, and also I'm thinking of Meryl Streep as another singer. Emma Thompson, somebody else, and Emily Blunt, all these singers, or these, a couple of them are singers, some of them are actors, and I could see just sort of a collaboration of these different people put into one album. And the release date of the album is going to be on the 21st of September. And, of course, there's a song, September, do you remember that, all that kind of thing. And, we were listening to that one song the other day, which was, and I'm going to take you through the different songs that I have in mind. But that song that we were listening to one day, I think, if we could tie that in, I could create a version of that for Dance Moms. One day when, fill in the blank. Because I, heard that song and I thought of, you, and then I thought of that, the time of year, kind of the end of fall, the end of summer, beginning of fall. And so getting into the songs that I have in mind, if we were to take through the different phases of the show, and so a couple of the ideas that I have in mind would be, one of which, and I really want to utilize the sort of catchphrases that you use, and the sort of sayings, or, I guess lessons that you taught, just, in general. Because I know that you wrote the book, Everything I Learned About Life I Learned in Dance Class, which you can find and, you can read. A couple of the songs is going to be, one of them is Top of the Pyramid, obviously, because that's, I have this, my own version of that, which I'll refine and continue to work on. Everyone's Replaceable is another song, and another song is, so those are a couple. And then another one is Your Name and Your Reputation. Now, this song, it has to do with what's currently going on right now in the world, from an astrological and spiritual perspective. This is where I was speaking about how you would express somebody, or, to express somebody. Express means, it's an energy where you feel closer to them, more connected to them. And that's how I'm feeling right now with, Happy. So that's the express energy. It's an energy that you want to go along with them as opposed to fighting against them and, resisting them, trying to prove yourself to be better, bigger, stronger against that person. You want to, it's almost like you're winning. It's almost like you want to prove something, you want to teach something, and you want to get something through to somebody. And there's a kind of quality to your voice. And there's an example of this, and I'm trying to think of an example of somebody who portrays this express quality. I can't think of her right now. I would say Jill Vertes from the show would show more of an express quality in her voice. But there's somebody else, and I don't think that she was from the show. I think there's this lady on YouTube who made a couple videos which sang "Call Up Bjorn Reed," being an Oracle con artist. Now, there was some stuff, a couple, I guess, allegations she made against her, saying, I don't know about that, but, apparently there were a couple of decks that she created, a couple of Oracle decks that were not based off of her own intuition. Because when it comes to creating Oracle decks, you sort of meditate on the cards that you want to create. And you sort of, over time, there's a whole process, but it really does not come from, the logical mind. And, call it, researches things and, all those kind of things, but it's a spiritual process. But then all of a sudden, she was basing this process of creating these Oracle decks based off of the student that she had on Oracle school. So she created a goddess deck because she gave a reading, sort of a energy reading to this person at her Oracle school, saying, when I meditated on you, I saw a goddess energy. So, she took that, and so she, I guess, created a deck that was, pulling pictures off the internet, not really, what the real goddesses are about, particularly one of them, and sort of creating a deck which has, gives misinformation about the goddesses in terms of being true to the goddesses in, cultures like Hinduism, which have been sort of, that people have worshipped for thousands of years. And, apparently there was that story, and then, there was something else with another deck. But so anyway, this person on YouTube, her voice is, could be, more of an expressor type of voice, more of the express energy of wanting to prove something against somebody, of wanting to, sort of an energy where you're going against somebody. It's not that you necessarily want to be with them, or you're, supporting them. You want to be more famous. You want to perceive yourself as someone more important, bigger, better, all those kind of things like that. So that's express. So that's, what I'm talking about here. So anyway, Okay, so with this album, there was one song, that I'm thinking of. Okay, so in terms of what's going on astrologically and spiritually, Pluto recently moved into Aquarius, and we're sort of moving towards the Aquarian age, in which some astrologers are calling New Earth. And it's not necessarily something that's going to happen at a certain date and time and day, but it's something that we're sort of moving and being guided into, that we co-create, because we are the co-creators of our own reality and all those kinds of things. And there's this concept of these people evolving and becoming more spiritual, being in more sort of divine connection and harmony with everyone around us, and being in a state of communion and bliss and love and peace and of empathy and compassion and just unconditional love, and all those positive things where we can really raise our frequency and all those concepts. To the people who are willing to change and are willing to let go of the old paradigms to move into the new paradigms, this song is to address those who supposedly would stay in the old paradigms and cling to the old paradigms of power over and of wanting to be in control, and an ego mind, me versus you, us versus them, all those kind of things, and you can, the astrologer Heather Ensworth talks all about this. You can see it in her videos that she does for the new moons, full moons, etc. So this song is to say that, based off of the show, because we're looking at the show here, and I'm sure that there were some edits done and some cuts made, so the audience can't really get the full picture, but based off of what went on and based off of what people can gather, let's just say that in the show, Abby would be clinging to the old paradigms. And the whole idea with my name and my reputation and